Guys, let's solve rod cutting dynamic programming problem. Let's understand the question. I will give you a rod of length 8 units and I will give you a price list. So you have to cut the rod in such a way that you have to get the maximum price out of it. So if I cut the rod of 1 unit and sell that rod, I will get 1 rupee. After cutting the rod of 1 unit, I will be left over with 7 units. If I sell that 7 units rod, I will get 17 rupees. Okay, so by selling the 8 units length rod, I will get 18 rupees I will get. Okay, this is how you have to cut the rod and you have to maximize the outcome. So that is the question. So whenever I have the rod length is 8, so I can cut into 2 pieces, 1,7 I will get 18 rupees, 2,6 2 units I can cut, so for that I will get 5 rupees. And for 6 units I will get 17 rupees. I can cut to 3 units and 5 units. Okay, after cutting 3 units I will be left over with 5 units. So by selling 3 units I will get 8 rupees and by selling 5 units I will get 10 rupees. 4, 4, 9 plus 9, 18 rupees. 5, 3, I can cut the rod to 5 units and the leftover rod length will be 3 units. So by selling 5 units I will get 10 rupees, by selling 3 units I will get 8 rupees. 10 plus 8, 18 rupees. Now 6, 2, I can cut the rod to 6 units, leftover will be 2 units. By selling 6 units I will get 17 rupees, by selling 2 units I will get 5 rupees, 22. Okay, I can cut the rod to 7 units and leftover will be 1 unit, 17, 1, 17 rupees plus 1 rupee, 18 rupees. And I can cut the rod to 8, 0. The rod, I won't split the rod ideally. I won't split the rod. I will sell the rod as it is. Okay, I will sell the rod of 8 units length as it is. So I will get a value of 20 rupees. So out of this all things, so these two combinations 2,6 and 6,2 are giving the highest price 22. So the answer is 22. Okay. So this is the question. Now one more thing. If I change the price list, okay, by selling 1 unit length rod, I will get 3 rupees. In such case, the answer will differ. Okay, in that particular combination, I have to cut the rod to 8 pieces. Okay, there is one possible combination where I can cut the rod to 8 pieces and the 8 pieces are 1 unit length, and by selling this 1 unit length rod I will get 3 rupees. So 8 into 3, 24 rupees. So the maximum price that I can get is 24. Okay. So let's see how the recursion works. So you can cut the rod to 1, 2, 6, 3, 5, 4, 4, 5, 3, 6, 2, 7, 1 and 8, 0. Okay. So again in this particular thing 1, 7. For this particular state, okay, this will happen. So you can cut the rod of 7 units to 1, 6 and 2, 5 and 3, 4, 4, 3 like that. Understood? So again for this, to cut the 7 units length rod, you will follow this entire procedure 1, 6 and 2, 5. Okay. So again, if for example, if you consider this particular state, you may enter. You will again enter to cut the 5 units length rod. You will enter 1, 4 and 2, 3, 3, 2, 4, 1 and 5, 0 like that. Okay. So it is a continuous recursion. Okay. Let's write the recursive function for that. So this is the input. Okay. For 1 unit 1 rupee, 2 unit 2 rupees. So I am just ignoring 0th index. So for 0 units, if the rod length is 0, so ideally there is no rod. So you won't get any money for that. Okay, so 0 rupees, and the length of the rod will be size of prices minus 1. As we are ignoring the 0th index, that is n is equal to this size by first int size minus 1. So n will be 8. Now let's write the recursive program for this. Rod cutting of n is 8. Okay, we are just ignoring the 0th index. Now rod cutting of the parameter we are passing is length of the rod. Okay, now int answer. Let me show you. So for every length of the rod, what we are doing is we are defining an answer, and for every state, for 1,7 state there is one answer, 2,6 state there is an answer, 3,6 state, 5 state there is an answer. So what we are going to do is we are going to define an answer as minus infinity. Okay, and we are going to check minus infinity comma 18. Okay, for example, answer will, let's initiate answer to minus 987654321. Okay, this is the minus value. So minus infinity comma 18. So which is bigger? 18 is the positive number and 18 is bigger. Now in the second state, and 18 is assigned as the answer, current answer. Okay, we haven't processed all the states, we just processed the first state. Now we enter the second state. After entering the second state, we'll get an answer as 22. Okay, and in the first state we stored the 18 as answer. Now in the second state, answer is 22. So 22 comma 18, which is bigger? 22. 22 is saved in the answer. Again we go to third state. After third state, it gets an answer as 18. Okay, 18 comma 22, which is bigger? 22 is bigger. So answer will remain as 22 itself. Okay, now after that 4 comma 4, this state returns an answer as 18. So current answer is 22. 22 comma 18, which is bigger? 22. 22 remains the same. Now again 5 comma 3, it has an answer 18. So 18 comma 22, which is bigger? 22. Now 6 comma 2 has an answer 22. 22 comma 22, which is bigger? 22. Okay, both are same. So answer will remain as 22. Okay, till the end of the state, you process all the states answer and you compare with the current maximum answer, and you will update if it is maximum, else you won't update. And after completing all these states, you will return the answer. Answer is 22. Right? So let's write that one. So let's define answer is equal to minus infinity. Okay, has defined minus infinity is equal to 987654321. Okay, now for int I is equal to 1, you are splitting the rod to 1,7. So starting length is 1 till I less than or equal to length I plus plus. Now option 1, we have an option. Okay, now the rod is split into I length. Rod is split into I length. Now initially I is equal to 1. So 1. So price of I plus find what is the answer, what is the value that I am going to get when length minus I. So for I length, you are splitting the rod to length. You are splitting a rod of length to I. So currently I is 1. So 8 minus 1 is the leftover rod. So for the leftover rod, what is the maximum output? You are asking the recursive function to calculate from the depth and return the answer. So always it is a blunt rule that you don't think about the n level depth. You always think about the first level depth and try to write the recursive function for that. So I is equal to 1. So 1 comma 7. So for when you are going to sell the rod of unit length 1, you are including that price, plus you are asking the recursive function to return what is the maximum output for rod cutting of length minus I. So you will get one option. Now max answer is equal to max of answer comma option. So for each state you are going to get one value, right? Now let's define one ternary operator, a greater than p A colon B. So whatever out of these two options, which is bigger, that will be returned. Okay, so for every state there is an answer. You are just comparing that answer with the minus infinity, and you are storing that particular answer, and then you are returning it. Return that answer. Okay. You have a rod of length 8. 8 is equal to length. I is 1. So len minus I, that is 8 minus 1 is 7. So you are asking the recursive function to find what is the maximum output to cut the rod to rod of length 7 units. So the recursive, it goes on internally again. This will have many states. This will have many recursion depth. Okay, let's not bother about that. So this particular state 1, 7 will give you one answer. Okay, that answer you are comparing with minus infinity. And out of this minus infinity and 18, which is greater? 18 is greater. You are storing that 18 to answer. Again 2, 6 will give one answer. You are comparing this state answer to main answer. And you are updating the main answer. So like this, you are going to find the answer for each and every state. For this 8 states, you are going to find the answer, and you are going to update the main answer, and at the end you will return that particular main answer. So at the end you are returning the main answer. Okay, let's debug this and find the output that we are going to get. So we got an answer of minus infinity. We have done one mistake. We didn't include the base condition. If length less than or equal to 0 means there is no length. What we have to do? We have to return 0. Okay, let's debug. Now we'll get the answer. So the answer is 22. Okay. So if the price list increases, okay, for example, if n is equal to some 100, then we will get our main issue. Overlapping subproblems will occur. So it will take a lot of time to compute the output. So what we have to do? We have to apply the caching technique. We have to apply our caching technique. So for example, now I will tell in the input, I will mention that rod length won't be greater than 100. Okay, length of the rod won't be greater than 100. So cache length will be 100 plus 1. So this is the maximum cache that you are going to have. Now you have to init cache for int I is equal to 0, I less than 101, I plus plus, and you are initializing the cache to -1. You have to call this init cache before calling the rod cutting problem. Now what you are doing, whenever you are returning the answer, you are saving that answer. You are saving that particular length state in the cache, and then you are returning that. Okay, now again for that particular length, if it asks to calculate, what you are going to do, you are just going to tell if cache of length not equal to -1 means it's already calculated. So return from the cache. Don't calculate further. Don't call the recursion again. Now if you run the output, you will get in few milliseconds. Okay, so this is the output again. Now if you observe the cache, so this is the cache. Okay, so if you observe the cache, this is how it looks. Okay, I am not just increasing this input, okay, just to explain, you are well aware of that. So if you increase the price list, the overlapping subproblems will occur and time taken to calculate the answer will increase. So for that we are going to initialize the cache. As this is a single varying variable length, we have 1D cache. Okay, so we are initializing the cache to -1, and whenever we are returning the answer, we are storing it in the cache. And again for that particular state, if it is asking to calculate, if the answer is already present in the cache, we are returning it from the cache. Okay, this is the rod cutting problem. See you in the next video. Bye.